Alright, so I'm adding a new spell to the game, and yeah, let's get to it, guys, shall we? So I go to the spell registry here, and I just need to add another line for the spell that I want. I already have it planned out. It's called Conjure, and it's basically, let me see what I wrote here, so I can get the wording perfect. Okay, so it says create a random item and add it to your inventory. And then just say worth 60 AP or less. Okay, then I need to assign the icon, the color, and what is it, the energy cost, yeah, and the damage if necessary. It doesn't have damage, so that's fine. The energy cost is 8, and the damage is 0. It does not need targeting, so that's why this is false. And then I need to assign the like a static reference to it. So this is just to make it easier to reference it later. So I call it conjure, and then I say conjure equals the last created spell, and boom. Now technically the spell's in the game, but it doesn't do anything. Before I actually get to the functionality of the spell, I want to actually make the visuals, and for the visual, I need to create an icon and decide what color I want to thematically make the spell. As for the icon, let's see here. This is GIMP, which is what I will be using. I have an icon that I've downloaded for reference, so I'm going to get that in here in a second. Do File, Open. But before I do Open, I want to go to the actual Unity project and make sure I have my dimensions right, because I need to make sure that all of the icons are the same length and width and all of that for optimization reasons and also just consistency. I'm going to wait for my scripts to compile here before I go to resources and just look at where's, oh, that's not it. Okay, resources. And what is it? Icons. Okay, these are 64 by 64 buffs. Here's one, banish, 128. So we'll use 128 by 128. Seems legit. Trying to find one for curse to make sure that that's it. But we'll use actually we'll use a slightly larger size and we'll resize it later. Seems fair. So now I'm gonna open the actual image that I downloaded. It's called Ball Glow. So that's this, and this is it right here. So this is not going to be the final image in the game. I'm going to have to make some modifications to this. Call this the background. This is going to be the basic image, I think. I'm thinking about making the center yellow and using some kind of background color, maybe orange or something. Not totally sure yet. I didn't plan quite this aspect out of it. I just kind of do what I do with this. So radial here. Not sure I'm totally okay with that. But we'll change it. We'll change it. Do alpha select grow. We'll add a sort of glow to this to make a glow layer for this, and possibly color this like a black. Could be gray. We'll add a blur to this layer. A Gaussian blur. Usually do like 18, 19, 20 point blur. Okay. Um, Still looks kind of weird, but it's taking some shape here. For the main color, I'll do brightness. Wait, I won't do that. I'll do what, hue saturation? No, colorize. Yeah, okay. Take the brightness down a little bit and find a color that works for us. Try using a lot of saturation here. Okay, I'm thinking, this is an audible call right now. I'm thinking I want the center to be slightly different than the glow around it, so I'm going to select the center here. And actually, I'm going to try to keep the center yellow, and I'm going to try to make the surrounding uh, explosion part, I guess. I'm going to try to make that a different color, so I'm going to hit invert here. and then hit colors, colorize that. And so now I'm selecting this outside portion. And again, trying to use a lot of saturation here. I could go for, darken this up a little bit, for something orangish here. Not sure. Could go for something red, orange. Could go with cooler colors. But a lot of the spells already use cool colors, so I'm trying to make this more warm. Maybe even a greenish. Try to stick with something orangish. I'll use that. Okay. The background now, I'm not sure if I want to change it or leave it. I could leave it. Maybe colorize the glow a bit. Give me some ideas or inspiration here. I might leave it for right now. Maybe increase the blur. Someone inviting me to play League of Legends. Increase the blur here. Alright, so continuing on here. After some feedback, I think what I'm going to do is alpha selection this, do what, shrink, maybe 2 pixels, invert, and do like a slight. Actually, I'm going to cut this out, paste it on a new layer, hit blur on this part, maybe not a 20-point blur, but definitely maybe like a 9-point blur. Here, oops, this is crazy. Alright, we'll try this. Yeah, it gives it a lighter outline there. I don't think what else I want to do. I'm still thinking the background color might need to change. Maybe does red work for this, for Conjure? I'm always indecisive when it comes to these colors, so. Maybe I'll do purple. It contrasts a lot with the foreground, but I'll be able to get it to work here. We'll try this. I might change the colors later, but I think this is going to be the basic thing. So I'm going to export this to here, cloud build, assets, and resources, and put this in here as a conjure.png. Probably going to resize this to 128 by 128 when we get it in here. But first order of business, just want to make sure this is power underscore silence. Yeah, and it's 256 and we put it under power, so we're going to do that. You're just getting these import settings right, so I'm going to first of all rename it so that it fits the convention. So power underscore conjure. Right, I'm going to make it a sprite for UI purposes, and then I'm going to put this at 256 and put it in the packing tag with all the powers, hit apply. That should be good. And then to get this into scripts, I need to go to not aesthetics, where's my icon bank, and drop a reference to this. So power conjure, we're going to put it in 127, so I remember 127 now. Then I go into my script and say get icon 127. The color I think is going to be that purple that we used. So similarly, I need to set the color here, pick a color ID that I want, or define a new one entirely. I want to look at this image again. So I think color, what is this color here? 19, we'll try that maybe, if that's not a color I'm already using. Atlas colors, we used Atlas colors 23, 29, 0, 4, 12. 19 is not used, so we're going to use 19 here. We have the energy cost set, It doesn't do damage, so we set this to 0. It doesn't need targeting, so there's that. And that's the spell. So now the spell is technically in the game, but it doesn't do anything. So for that, we need to go to the game settings script. This is the on spell execute. Spell to execute. So this is Arcana Pulse, spell.curse, blah blah blah. This is everything else. Instead, we can add this. We can add another thing here that says else if spell to execute equals spell.conjure. And then now we want this to execute only for the player that's casting this. So we need to say, alright, int item ID, because we're going to add an item, equals item, what's it called, item script, dot get random item. And the max cost is going to be 60. The player we're getting the item for is the casting player. And the item category we want doesn't matter, so we don't need to specify it. So it can get an item in any category. And then we're going to say if item ID is greater than 0. That means that this is successful because this might return a 0. So if this returns something, then we know that we're adding an item. And then we say so item script dot add item to player, and then we get the item ID. The player we want is the casting player, and the inventory flag we don't need to set that because there's no special flags we need to set for this. What else? We need to send an item message, so we need to say send item message, item image message. We're gonna say there should be some overloads to this. Let me see. Send item image message. Yeah, okay. So item ID is item ID. The text is going to be, so we need to do player name of the casting player plus conjured an item. And then we can leave it like that. We need to say the owner of the item, which is obviously going to be the casting player. And then are we sending this to all? Yes, so we don't need to specify that. And yeah, that should actually make it work. Now, for testing purposes, I'm going to set the probability of this spell to be something like really likely. So 2 is already really likely. I'm going to set it to like 5 so that we're almost guaranteed to get the spell when we test it in the game. Yeah. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to do, but I think that's actually it. I might be missing something, but seems legit. So we're waiting on the scripts to compile now. And we hit play. So we're in the editor now, quick match. Test itself. Doesn't matter. Alright, what do we got?
Please refrain from getting blood on the squares. We just polish them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, so 6. We roll 6.
Yeah, leveled up!
And there's Conjure. Create a random item and add it to your inventory worth 60 or less, costs 8 energy. Cast it. And it adds this item. Adds Murrow. Rolling pin. On 2 energy, so it had the correct energy cost. We're good.
The dice don't roll themselves. They're shy like that.
So yeah, that's how we add a spell to the game.